Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting video after a long time. So almost after 2 months. This video includes JSTL, Java Server Standard Tag Libraries. This includes introduction to JSTL, then types of JSTL tags, an example of JSTL. Okay, so let's start with this JSTL. JSP Standard Tag Library represents a set of tags to simplify the JSP development. JSP Standard Tag Library is a standard library of ready-made tags, and the JSTL contains several tags that can remove scripted code from JSP page by providing some ready-to-use and already implemented common functionalities. So basically, if you talk about this JSTL, you know that it is an enhancement of this JSP tags. And by using the JSTL, we are removing the scriptlet tags. Because for running the JSTL, this JSP codes or you can say the Java codes, we need to add this scriptlet, then only we are able to add this. But JSTL tags are ready-made codes, ready-made tags you can say. They can have their own meanings, and by using that, we can implement the codes. Next one is advantage of JSTL. First one is fast development. By using this JSTL, the development will be fast because it provides many tags that simplify the JSP. Code reusability. We can use the JSTL tags on various pages because the same code we can write and we can use at different pages. And no need to use the scriptlet tag, as it has been already explained that it is a replacement of the scriptlet tag. You can say. So it avoids the use of scriptlet tags. Now coming to these different JSTL tags. If you talk about the JSTL tags, there are 5 different tags. 5 different tags which are used in JSTL. First one is JSTL core tag. Second, JSTL function tags. Third, JSPL formatting tags. Fourth, JSTL XML tags. And fifth one is JSTL SQL tags, which are used for the database connectivity. And all the tags are having their own meanings. So first, let's see this JSTL core tags. Core tag provide variable support, URL management, flow control, and see this syntax for this JSTL core tag is less than percentage at the rate taglib URI is equal to http:// java.sun.com/jsp/jstl/core, and here the prefix is C, prefix equal to C. So when we write the code, when we write the program, we need to add this code. We need to add this line in the JSP page. Now these are this different tags which are used. There are some common tags. Cout for display the result of the expression. C import which will retrieves the relative URL. C set which sets the result of the expression. C remove which is used to remove the specified scope of the variables. Catch basically for throwable exception. So we are using in this exception handling. See if it is for the conditional tag which are used for testing the condition, and param which is used for adding the parameters in the import tags. So these are the different core tags. Now second one is JSTL function tag. Function type provides a number of standard functions. Most of these functions are common string manipulations. So basically if you talk about this JSTL function tag, the function tags are used for the string manipulations you can say. And the syntax is here we have to add this function, and the prefix is for this function tag is fn. These are the different function tags. Fn contains then ends with index of fn trim, then starts with lowercase to uppercase and to substring. Contains, which is used to test if an input string containing that specified substring in the program. End with will check if any string end with that particular string. Index of, basically it will return the index within the string of the first occurrence. Trim, which will remove the blank spaces. Start with, now we'll check the given string start with that particular string. Lowercase and the uppercase, converting the character into the lowercase as well as into the uppercase. Substring, which will return the subset of an string according to the given start and the end positions. So these are the different functions. Now the next one is formatting tags. Formatting tag, basically it provides the message formatting and the number as well as the date formatting. So this is also known as message formatting tags or number formatting tags, as well as you can see the date formatting tags. And this is FMT tag, right? And this prefix will be your FMT. So when you write this, we can have to add this FMT as well as the prefix is equal to FMT. These are the different tags, different formatting tags which are used. FMT pass number, which is used to pass the string representation of the currency, percentage or number if you want to convert from one to another type. Time zone specifies the parsing action nested in its body or the time zone of any type of meeting. Format number, then pass date, which passes the string representation of the time date. Then set time zone also, which is required. Then message, which displays the internationalized message and the format. Now the next one is XML tags, JSTL XML tags, which are used for providing the JSP centric way of manipulating and creating the XML documents. And the prefix for this XML is that we need to have add this XML, and the prefix will be your X. So the different tags are here. X out, as it is used in that core tag, which is used for this output. Then X parse, converting, pass attribute, then set attribute, so the X set, then when again for this conditional value, then if evaluating the test value, and the pair providing this variables. Then SQL tags, that is the most important thing, because when we are making the database connection, it is most important factor. So JSTL SQL tags provide SQL support, and URL for the SQL tag is java.sun.com/dsp/jstl/sql, and the prefix will require is SQL. SQL tag library requires the tag to interact with the DBMS, such as Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, or Oracle. So whenever we make the connection, we require the database connection tags. So this will support the connection tags for the Java database connectivity. Now these are the different SQL tags which are used. The first one is set data source, SQL set data source, which is used for creating a simple data source suitable only for the prototyping. And SQL query, it is used for executing the SQL query defined in its SQL attribute or the body. So basically when we make the connection in the database, we have to do the driver registration, and then we have to make the connection. So instead of writing this class.forName, instead of writing that connection URL and this driver manager dot get connection method, we'll write only this SQL set data source as well as the SQL query. And apart from that, the other tags are here: the SQL update, SQL param, SQL read param, and SQL transaction. SQL update, it is used for executing the SQL update defined in the SQL attribute or in the tag body. For example, you want to perform as insert, if you want to perform update, if you want to perform JT, then we need this SQL update tag. Then SQL param, which is used for sets the parameter in a SQL statement to the specified value. Date param, which is used for sets the parameter in the SQL statement to the specified Java. So if you want to set the dates while you are making the transactions, then we can use this date param. And this transaction, which is used to provide the nested database actions with the common connections. So these are the different tags in SQL. Now we will see that different use of this SQL if you are making the database connection. See this SQL set data source tag, which is used for creating a simple data source suitable only for the prototyping. It is used to create the data source which is available directly from JSP, and it is stored inside a scoped variable. It can be used as an input for other database access. So mostly we'll create the data source, and that data source will be used for the database connection and the further actions. Now you can see here this example. As I have told earlier, when you are writing the program, you need to add this URL. Because if you are writing the program for making the connection of SQL, you need to have to add this core library. JSTL library is required for making the database connection. And also, if you are using this variable, if you are creating the variable, if you are defining the variable, then the core tags are also required. That is also used. So here we'll be writing here that SQL set data source, then the variable driver is equal to com.mysql.jdbc.drivers. So if you write a normal JDBC connection, what we'll do, we'll write the method class.forname. But if you're using that JSTL, we don't write that class.forname method. We'll write this tag SQL set data source, and simply we'll just create the data source as DB here, and we'll provide the driver URL. And the next part is, after creating the data source, simply we just provide the database URL instead of providing writing the method driver manager.get connection. So here the JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost, and then we'll write the name of the database. And if you're making the connection using SQL, then you have to provide the username and the password. So this covers two steps, that the driver registration as well as the database connection both. Now we'll come to the next part, that is SQL query. So SQL query tag is used for executing the SQL query, define its SQL attribute at the bottom. It is used to execute an SQL select statement and saves the result in the scope variable. So that is the step number 3 as well as the 4. We need to create the statement. After creating the statement, we need to fetch the data. So after creating the statement, right, we have to display the data. So for creating the statement, we need the data source, right? So earlier we have created the DB as a data source, right? Now SQL query data source here. Now we are fetching the data source which we have created earlier, and this $sign will be used for fetching the data source. And here we'll create the variable res or anything. So variable we have to create, and now this variable will be used to display the data. And this statement will write here select star from student. So if you are using the student table, then we'll write the student table, and if you are using any other table, then you have to use the other table. So this covers the statement, like creating the statement as well as the fetching the data. Now we'll see one example, basically the complete example. If you display the data after creating the table. So we'll use here that MySQL database, right? So MySQL driver, and if you're using this database as user, so we'll write the user. We create the database as user, and for MySQL, the username is a root as the password. For this machine GPS, and for your machine, if you're using, you can use any password, whatever you have created. Now if you are making the database connection, then you'll have this JSTL tags for this variable as well as its MySQL. So these are the core tags and these are the MySQL tags, and these are the other tags like MySQL and Sonnet. Now already we have discussed these two things, right? Now creating the data source as DB will provide the driver for MySQL, and then we'll write this database connection URL. And after this, we'll make this query for creating the statement. And here we'll create the variable, and this variable will be used for this fetching the data and displaying the data on the table. And here we'll write the SQL statements. For example, you've created a table. So if you want to fetch the data from the table, then you can write the select star from student. So that comes under the SQL query. For example, if you want to insert some data, if you want to delete some data, so then it will come under this SQL outreach. Now the next line, these lines here, because the table which I have created having 4 columns: student, ID, first name, last name, as well as the age. So this is the tabular form. Table, then the border, then the width. And the first row of this table, when the output will be displayed, this is the table heading, the TH, student ID, first name, last name, and the age. And after that, in normal JDBC connection, what we'll do, we'll check the data if it is present in the database. So here we'll use this core tag, that C, for each, and the variable is equal to here we'll make as a table, and items we want to display here rs.rows. So rs already we have created as a variable, and that will be used to fetch the data for the particular row. And now the number of rows are here, that row, and the column values are here, that ID, first name, last name, and the age. So we'll write the command here, that cout. So cout is what? This is a core tag for displaying the output. And we'll write here the value is equal to. See, this table we have taken as a reference for the variable for fetching the data. And one more thing, this important thing is that whatever column name you have created over there, that should be written as it is. If it is ID, it should be written ID. If it is first name and the first underscore name, it should be written like that. If it is last name, then again it will be written as it is. If it is age, then again it will be written as it is. So this will be the structure, and this is the opening tag of this for loop, for each loop. Now after this, there is a closing tag, and this is the end of the table, right? So table will be open here and it will be closed. This is the end of the table. So this is the program for creating the table. Now we'll make live example will show in the next video. So thank you for watching my video. Thank you.